All right. Well, it's cold and wintry here, and Edna has been under her covers for probably a month and a half now, and so we haven't had much of a chance to do videos. But I thought it would be good. We're getting up to 40 degrees Fahrenheit today, so it seemed like a good day to come check things out, reset our mouse traps, spread some more peppermint oil around to try to repel mice. We've been having some mice in here, and so want to keep that under control. Also replace things like our desiccant. They were getting pretty full of water, so obviously some moisture in here over the winter. So got those things squared away, and we're good probably for a little while longer. I think in the next month we should be able to get back to doing more projects. But I've had quite a few questions and comments around the suspension system, the air ride system. So obviously that's a major part of these motorhomes and what makes them unique and ride as nice as they do and be convenient to level when you get to a campsite and all of that. Most of them, I think, have had some kind of repairs or upgrades or maintenance along the way. I think if you still have the original system with the various travel modes and level sensors and all of that, I think keeping it in working condition and using it as it was designed is probably the best way to go. It's a very functional system, but ours had that all removed when we got it, and I don't really know what led to that. I suspect there must have been problems, probably air leaks or maybe mechanical failures or something else. And so we have an aftermarket system, and as far as those systems go, I think this one works pretty well. So I was going to talk about it a little bit, and I'll put some links in the description to the type of system that we have. There's a newer version of it now, but I suspect it probably works the same way. So come up here and I'll show you a couple things up front. So ours has the electro level system back by the driver's seat there. That has all been disconnected, but it's still there. I think it looks cool. So unless I have something better to put there, I think I'm just going to leave it. The switches I think are kind of neat. So we just leave that there even though it doesn't do anything. The system we have now uses this control. So this is an AirLift system, and I will put a link in the description to the newer system of this. This controller, basically, if we wake it up here, shows kind of a representation of the vehicle. Right now, it is getting readings, so 80 pounds on the left, 40 pounds on the right. We're on a little bit of an angle where we're parked here, so I have those adjusted that way to keep the coach somewhat level. A couple of programmable buttons up and down, and various selector choices here to move to the left hand side, or if we go, went back and forth there, the right hand side, so you can adjust the pressure either way. There's no level on this, so I just have to know what pressures in my airbags give me the right kind of level. And so I've worked out generally that if I want it to be kind of down a little bit in the back, heading down the highway, I'll lower it down to maybe 45 pounds on both sides. When I'm driving around town and I want it to have a little bit more ground clearance, I'll bump it up to 60 or 65. And just by measuring the measure points in the back, I can get kind of an idea of what those pressures equate to in a normal system, where you would automatically level to different travel modes. So this is the control. It works when the key is on. I'm not going to turn that on yet, but I'll demonstrate it here in a minute. Let's go back to the back where the compressor is. And I have a visual aid here also. So we've got the compressor here. When we first got the coach, it had this cute little compressor. This is the one that has an AirLift label on it, but it was just too small. It overheated. It couldn't produce enough air to air up the airbags all the way. It had to kind of stop and cool down regularly. And so I removed this and I put in a Viair 380C. And This is just a single compressor, but much bigger, much better duty cycle, more air capacity, and it just generally works a lot better. So that was, I think the new AirLift systems do come with some bigger compressors like this, but that was a good upgrade for us. I'm going to get a light here to give a little bit better view of what we've got going on in here, because this box back here is what that remote control that I was showing earlier communicates to. And so this has lines going to the left and the right, and it has a level sensor so you can get an idea of is it level or not. There's a air filter, there's some relays, so we have this set up to only work when the ignition is on. So, when you're going down the road, it can be operated. But this has been working really well for us. The bigger compressor gives much better performance, so we can completely adjust the pressure without having to, let it cool down or restart or anything like that. But let me get the control and we'll just turn it on real quick and kind of give you an idea of what it looks like. Not that you're going to be able to see much other than just seeing the numbers change on the screen. So I've got the control here and I can select left or right. I'm going to put it on the right hand side and then I'm going to just bump it up a few PSI. I'll go another one there. So it will adjust the pressure basically to bring us up to that new pressure. And I know as the pressures change, the height of the coach changes. Now, if I want to lower that side, I can select that right-hand side again and move it down, and it'll release pressure to get down to the pressure that I had there. So works pretty well. It's wireless, so you can control it from a little bit of a distance. I think it works okay outside the coach. The newer ones probably have a little bit better range, but overall I've been pretty happy with this system. And I think if your stock system isn't working, has too many problems to fix, something like this could be a pretty good option. And I haven't, other than needing to replace that compressor with a bigger one, haven't really had any problems with it. It's worked well.